So hello guys, and welcome back to another video in our channel. In our video today, we are going to do an in-depth tactical analysis of the clash that took place yesterday at Anfield. So Liverpool hosted Arsenal at Anfield, and this was quite a scintillating match. Mikel Arteta, in his post-match analysis, he gave one of the best statements to describe this game, and I'm going to give you just after this. So the game ended 1-all draw, with Liverpool scoring an equalizer from Mohamed Salah, while Arsenal having a clear opener in the first 6 minutes of the game. And this actually changed the dynamic in which the game was played. And I'm going to explain to you why. So Mikel Arteta said that this was the most intense game that he has watched in the Premier League, and that is within the last 20 years. So why did this game look so intense and looked so tactically astute? This game showcased two teams who are going toe-to-toe to try to win the Premier League title. Before we start our analysis, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Our first point in the analysis, we are going to look at what Liverpool did. We are going to understand what Liverpool did with the ball and without the ball, since that was quite interesting. So Liverpool dominated possession, and what we saw Liverpool do, especially in the initial phases of plays, that they will drop their centre backs wide and push their full backs high, and Alisson will step forward with the ball to act as the third centre back during build-up. Arsenal, on the other hand, will press with their narrow 4-4-2 system, and this was aided with Kai Havertz joining Gabriel Jesus, and both of them waiting for the ball to be played to the centre-backs, where they will engage in an aggressive press. Their wingers will start narrow to limit central progression. In this clip, you can see Alisson is on the ball and he is under little pressure, but Arsenal's front two in Jesus and Havertz are pinning both Virgil and Konate. So Alisson decides to play the ball to Konate, and Kai Havertz moves forward to try and press Konate to prevent Liverpool from progressing with the ball down that side. So Endo drops deep to receive the ball, and Odegaard has already sprung up from the midfield position to come and press his man. Now Liverpool now were being forced to go long. So here again you can see Virgil van Dijk has received the ball from Alisson, and Gabriel Jesus is now moving forward to try and press him. Saka is keeping an eye on Jones and as well as Tsimikas. Now, Alisson attempts a ball in midfield and Declan Rice manages to win the ball, and now Arsenal are able to counter-attack from that situation. So this was quite an interesting start from Arsenal. Here you can see that Arsenal were quite operating a piston-like press, with Odegaard picking the deeper midfielder, while the attacking mid and the striker would pick the player. Arsenal's main aim was to shaft the ball down the touchline, where they will use the touchline as an extra defender to win the ball. And Declan Rice was not afraid to move towards the touchline to receive the ball directly and play the ball forward. This was quite interesting, especially for the team. Now, in the left-hand side, we saw a clear tactical view of how Havertz and Gabriel Martinelli would receive the ball and immediately attempt to make a 2v1 against Konate, when Trent was caught up in midfield or high up the pitch. Now, Liverpool understood that they had a numerical advantage in midfield. So this 4-4-2 diamond that Arsenal were deploying became problematic, since now Klopp decided to drop Szoboszlai in midfield, and in this position Szoboszlai would receive the ball, draw in Declan Rice and play a first-time ball to Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones was occupying that position in between the midfield and the defense line of Arsenal, and being able to pick up those pockets to receive the ball. So when Arsenal scored their first goal, they became passive and decided to sit in their mid 4-4-2 block, allowing Liverpool space in possession. So Liverpool in possession had a clear tactic. Diaz will come in midfield inwards to play alongside Gakpo and form two false nines, with Salah holding the width down the right. Tsimikas would advance down the left to generate width down the left so that he can occupy the position that Diaz was supposed to occupy. Now in this position, Liverpool would play with a 2-3-5, but in most cases, because Arsenal were pressing with two players, Endo will drop deep while Trent Alexander-Arnold will invert in midfield to play alongside Curtis Jones, with either Gakpo or Luis Diaz dropping deep to receive the ball directly. So this was creating a lot of problems for Arsenal since they were outnumbered in midfield. And now we started to see Mikel Arteta dropping Havertz in midfield so that they can have a three-man midfield and establish a 4-5-1 mid-block. Now this gave Liverpool a lot of chance since now Virgil van Dijk had the space to progress the ball forward and play the ball to Tsimikas. Tsimikas together with Curtis Jones and Diaz will create numerical overload against Saka and Ben White. You can see from this clip how Tsimikas, Bukayo Saka and Curtis Jones are creating numerical overloads against Ben White. And you can see here Curtis Jones is able to receive the ball in the half space and attempt a cross, a problem that Arsenal faced. Now, to mitigate this overload created by Liverpool down the left side, Arsenal had to adapt by shifting the entire team towards the left. And this was creating a lot of problems again for Arsenal. Now, when Tsimikas had the ball in space, and together with Curtis Jones also advancing in these positions, we started to see Arsenal dragging their entire backline and their midfield lines, and Liverpool's Szoboszlai will push in between Zinchenko and Gabriel so that he could draw Zinchenko in field and create acres of space in the wide areas for Mohamed Salah. You can see here that Arsenal are shifting towards the left to try to mitigate the overload that Liverpool is creating down the left. You can see the position of Szoboszlai as Szoboszlai has moved and is almost playing as a forward while Salah is quite wide. Also Endo, you can see the position of Trent in between the two centre backs. Now, also another key interesting thing is Virgil van Dijk. So Virgil van Dijk will use his excellent vision to play those diagonal passes to Salah, and Salah in this position would attempt to make dribbles past Zinchenko and attempt a shot on goal. Actually, the only goal from the game came from Trent making that diagonal pass to Mohamed Salah. Now, our strength in midfield was quite ineffective since Declan Rice was man-marking him. So Jurgen Klopp decided to alter this system by dropping Trent in between the two centre-backs, and Trent now started to play those balls diagonally. And this is what resulted in the first goal for Liverpool, as Salah now received the ball in the wide area, cut in, beat Zinchenko and scored the goal. Now we look at what Arsenal did in possession. Arsenal in possession had very clear dynamics of play and very, very interesting. Though Arsenal, after they scored the first goal, they decided to be quite passive. But in possession, we saw a clear tactic that Mikel Arteta tried to employ, realizing that he knew Liverpool would press high. So the two centre-backs will drop on either side of Raya. And Zinchenko, as he usually does by inverting fast, did not do this. So Gakpo and Salah were the ones being tasked to press Saliba and Gabriel. And Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones will sit on Odegaard and Declan Rice. So what we started to see is Mikel Arteta target Liverpool's left-hand side. From this clip, you can see how high Curtis Jones has pushed on Odegaard and how Szoboszlai is quite narrow towards Declan Rice. So what we started to see is that because Trent Alexander-Arnold was supposed to make a shift to cover Zinchenko and the ball would be played to Zinchenko, Liverpool's backline had to shift across to cover this space. So Kai Havertz started to shift towards the left to win the duel directly from David Raya and lay the ball to Martinelli. So Raya would play those balls down Liverpool's right hand side, hoping that Kai Havertz would win his aerial duel against Konate and lay the ball for Martinelli. And even when Konate won the duel, still there was no one to win the second ball, and therefore Arsenal would win. Raya in this position can spot the overload that Havertz has created by pushing towards the left side. Raya plays the ball towards the left, and Havertz is already holding the target man position. He's holding off Konate and ready to receive the ball directly from his goalkeeper. Havertz wins the ball, lays the ball to Martinelli, and now Arsenal have beaten Liverpool's first, second lines of pressure, and now Arsenal are running at Liverpool's back four. Because of this tactical setup that Arsenal were employing, Liverpool decided just to sit in a mid 4-3-3 block. And this is what Arsenal were doing. So when Liverpool were in this mid 4-3-3 block and had created an overload of 6 players in midfield by tucking in their wingers quite closer, what we started to see was a clear, fascinating tactic by Arsenal. This is what Arsenal would do. So because Arsenal were matched man-to-man in midfield, this is what would happen. So in other instances, we expected Zinchenko to invert, but what we will see is Odegaard will be playing slightly deeper. Saka will be coming in this narrow right channel, and now Arsenal will be building more like Brighton with 6 men. That is Zinchenko and White holding the width, and Rice and Odegaard playing as a double pivot. You can notice the position of Zinchenko is quite high up the pitch. He's playing in that high half space channel, and Martinelli is playing wide. So Saka would be moving in midfield to receive the ball and open space for himself, while Ben White will be attempting to make that overlapping run. Here you can see how Saka has received the ball directly from Saliba, and he can see he's ready to take out Tsimikas, while Ben White can overlap from that position. Jesus will be dropping deep to try to link up with Bukayo Saka, and Bukayo Saka in this position would attempt to slip in a through ball for Ben White. But this was not quite the case because either the ball was overkicked, and when Gomez came in, he was able to deal with Saka because Gomez is right-footed. So in this case, you will see Saka receiving the ball, but majority of the time he will pass it back because Gomez is more defensively solid than Tsimikas. This created a lot of problems for Arsenal trying to play down the right. So in some instances, Ben White will shift and play as tuck in as a third centre back, while Zinchenko will invert. And this now will enable Martinelli to be dropping deep to receive the ball and attempt a dribble past Trent Alexander-Arnold. And once he did this, he will now be 1v1, but Konate was good in dealing with him. You can see here how Arsenal are trying to create that overload, but Szoboszlai, Endo were quite effective in shifting across and covering this space. So the game at Anfield showcased two teams who are going toe-to-toe this season to try and win the Premier League title. The game was quite intense, and I expected a draw in this game because I expected that both teams will be defensive resolute, and both of them will not give out chances, and it turned out that way. So Mikel Arteta and Jurgen Klopp managed to face each other, with both managers holding each other with high respect. So both teams were well tactically drilled, though Liverpool looked quite better after they equalized their goal. Arsenal will be happy coming out with a draw and 1 point from Anfield, and will be looking to beat Liverpool at the Emirates in the second leg. The Premier League title challenge is going on quite well, and both teams will be looking to see how they can outshine the other to try to win this title. If you've enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.